Hi, welcome to this video. On December 11th at 9:12 p.m. Pacific time, there is a full moon in Gemini happening at 19 degrees 52 minutes of Gemini. And it will be opposing the sun in Sagittarius in those same degrees. This full moon is also squaring off to Neptune at 15 degrees 59 minutes of Neptune, and it recently went direct once more on November 27th. So Neptune represents our illusions, our self-deceptions, as well as deception, and also the things that we set aside, the things that we push aside or sweep under the rug. So anything you're escaping, or maybe something occurred and you kind of stored it away in your mind for later. And now that it's going direct, you're going to face those things that you've set aside or haven't fully faced or haven't fully registered. And if you've been escaping certain things, well, now you're going to be facing those things, because this T-square is going to bring a sense of clarity. The sun in Sagittarius has to do with seeking the truth, and it also can bring new knowledge to you that makes you aware of something where maybe you just had illusions about previously. And with the moon in Gemini, it's all about communicating how you feel. And it's also about memories and analyzing your feelings through thinking. So your thoughts and your feelings and the things that kind of come up in your subconscious mind as well. So this full moon really is bringing about this whole sense of something being clarified, something being brought to light, and kind of dealing with things that you haven't been facing. And Saturn at 19 degrees, Venus at 20 degrees, and Pluto at 21 degrees of Capricorn is sextiling Mars at 15 degrees 9 minutes of Scorpio. And they are both the Capricorn planets and Mars and Scorpio are in conjunct that full moon in Gemini. So this creates a yod. So yod energy, when it comes to the sextile aspect, they're kind of helping each other out. The Mars in Scorpio sextile Saturn, Venus, and Pluto, which are all conjunct very closely, by the way. So actually that in itself, with that conjunction in all those Capricorn planets, let's just look at that for a second. Okay, so we've got Saturn, Venus, and Pluto. Those are just, you know what I mean? Okay, what this comes down to is Mars and Scorpio is going to be helping to take action in the areas of your goals, your relationships, and things that are hidden, or it could even be about gaining power in some way, because Mars and Scorpio is very powerful. Mars is a co-planet, co-ruling planet of Scorpio. And Pluto in Capricorn, of course, is very much about, power and stuff. And, Saturn, of course, is also a bit like that too. They're ambitious. Capricorn's an ambitious sign. And Mars is obviously very motivated. So this is a time to take action on your goals, and any actions that you take during these times, you may not see the results immediately, but they are going to be very important for the long term. And with that in conjunction to the moon in Gemini, this kind of brings about the more relational aspect of things. With Mars and Scorpio sextile Venus and Capricorn, for instance, this is going to be bringing about the more passionate side of your relationship. And with that in conjunction to the moon in Gemini, then the challenge is going to be expressing how you really feel, communicating your feelings, and looking at your subconscious mind as well. Because, of course, Gemini rules the mind and the moon rules your subconscious mind. So right now is a really great time for analyzing how you're feeling about your goals, how you're feeling about your relationships. It's kind of like a time for taking stock of all these things and looking at them more closely and more in that way, more consciously, right? And Mars in Scorpio is also trine Neptune. So this to me, and also the planets in Capricorn are sextile Neptune too. So it's like Mars is very closely trine Neptune, and then they are all sextile these more loosely because they're at 19, 20, and 21 degrees of Capricorn. So they're like further away from 15 degrees and 59 degrees. So almost 16 degrees is Neptune. I'm just pointing, So anyways, right now is a great time for manifesting because, any actions you take right now is going to noticeably change your life for the long term. And Neptune brings the dreams about, like, whatever you've been imagining, whatever you've been dreaming of, and whatever you really have been tapping into for yourself, your intuition. If you follow those intuitions, those dreams, and take action on those things, then that's when this can really create a change in your life that is more noticeable, following those long-term goals and seeing how they have, basically, if you follow those things, you will see results at some point in time. And then Jupiter, which just moved into Capricorn and is now at 2 degrees of Capricorn, is trine Uranus retrograde at 3 degrees of Taurus. So this is going to bring about unexpected progress or unexpected gains. And with Jupiter in Capricorn itself, so when it was in Sagittarius, we may have felt extra like inflated and like on top of the world, and more like it's likely you maybe had more of an ego at that time or have felt like more optimistic than normal. Now that it's moving into Capricorn, some of that feeling may have deflated just a little bit, and now reality is kind of setting in. The reality of the situations, the limitations you may have, things like that. But now that the fluff has kind of gone away, we can kind of be more realistic about how we can expand and how we can grow and what we can do to make more gains on our goals. And so it makes the rewards and the possibilities more tangible. And so it's a good combination ultimately because it kind of grounds in that expansive energy of Jupiter. And because it's trining Uranus in Taurus, Jupiter trine Uranus in itself would create more spontaneity in some ways, even though both of the signs that they're in are Earth signs and are a little less spontaneous. But that's why I say unexpected progress being made, because they are both very much about, you know, taking one step after another, making progress, you know, chipping away. When you're molding rock, you gotta like chip away at it for a long time. So like when you think about earth signs, you know, it like takes a long time to do things, but the results will be very clear at the end of the journey. And with Uranus, of course, these things happen unexpectedly and suddenly and things like that. So unexpected windfalls could occur potentially. Of course, Jupiter overpromises, so we don't want to get too hopeful or too overly excited about it. But, you know, just, you know, could happen. And Mercury at 4 degrees of Sagittarius is in conjunct Uranus. So this also could bring about unexpected insights, and especially around your values or your beliefs. So maybe somebody could say something that really shakes up your world, kind of reorients your mindset or your philosophy in life, and makes you realize, maybe I wasn't looking at that correctly, or kind of gives you a new kind of perspective on things. Something that kind of shakes up your world a little bit, and you're like, you know, maybe I should reconsider my original belief or value around whatever that thing could be. And then also Jupiter is square Chiron. So Jupiter in Capricorn is square Chiron at 1 degree 26 minutes, and Chiron is retrograde. So with Jupiter square Chiron, this could be healing childhood wounds around religious authorities, potentially, or beliefs that your parents passed on to you. Or it could even just be healing wounds maybe that a teacher or a parent instilled upon you. And it could be like a, you know, like a wound around a belief or a philosophy or an idea that you are becoming aware of at this time, to be brought into awareness so you can heal it. And then Mercury is trine Chiron. So with Mercury trine Chiron, this is obviously a good time to communicate or write down the feelings that you have around a childhood wound, especially around your beliefs, because Mercury is in Sagittarius and this Jupiter is squaring Chiron as well. So they are kind of working in tandem to kind of look at what beliefs are causing you to recreate wounds in your life, recreate those childhood wounds. And so looking at these things objectively and writing them down or speaking about them to someone can be extremely helpful in healing those things and not allowing those things to keep on repeating in your life. And then Jupiter is also forming a conjunction with the south node of the moon, which is at 8 degrees of Capricorn now. So with Jupiter conjunct the south node in Capricorn, so a lot of these themes of like what authority figures have told you to believe, a lot of those types of things could be coming up for us collectively with that south node conjunction, because the south node is like, okay, like having us look at whatever collective karma is going on and what needs to be released. So with Jupiter forming that conjunction, it's going to be bringing up a lot of that stuff. Like, what is it that you believe that is holding us back collectively, or what it is, you know, that we're collectively believing, or that individually each of us is believing that is holding us individually or collectively back. And so looking at those things and allowing those things to become more become conscious of those things, and then ultimately let go of the ones that are not conducive to our evolution moving forward. So yeah, that's the full moon for you. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share. I appreciate it. Have an awesome time.